I did want to make a quick video because, from time to time I comment on technology and projects in the ecosystem as a whole, and people are so radicalized and polar that they anticipate the founder of Cardano to always just say negative things about the things that people do.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and this is a big video with a ton of alpha. Charles Hoskinson praising SUI. Wow. And who's up in terms of gains today? I'm going to tell you and why. XRP ETF, the risks have been put in writing. And if you are an XRP holder, you need to look here, not there. I'll explain. We'll also take a look at global liquidity. Tether has a new technology solution up its sleeve to become MICA compliant. And Deaton gets a recommendation from a big Kamala Harris supporter. Yeah, let's listen to the rest of that short clip with the Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson, about SUI.
And if I say anything positive, there's this immediate impression that I'm abandoning Cardano or somehow being disloyal to the project. First, that tribalism is intrinsically self-destructive. And second, it prevents us from learning and growing together as an ecosystem. So recently I made some comments about SUI. I've been looking at the project with an objective eye. And the reason why is that some of the technology comes from George Dinezis. I've known George for almost a decade, and we were one of the first teams to implement RS Coin, a protocol that he wrote with Sarah Meiklejohn years ago that we used as a precursor to some things with Cardano. Only Cardano and Bitcoin have truly escaped their founding teams. The rest of them are reliant upon them in some way or fashion. That's just a fact as well. And that's what makes Cardano so special, is that we have created the largest decentralized brain, the largest decentralized government, and unlike Bitcoin, we have not succumbed to stagnation and anarchy, where there's no way to evolve the core protocol. And it is very important that we learn from others. It's very important that when we see interesting approaches or unique projects, that we praise them. And we try to find ways to work with them and integrate with them, because after all, we can trade with each other. The age of blockchain versus blockchain is coming to an end, and the age of blockchains trading with blockchains is starting to begin.
You're looking at the top 100 by market cap, and we just kind of moved more into the green than we have all day. And you're going to notice there's a green box down there, CFX, that's Conflux. They've been the top gainer in the 100 by market cap for the last 24 hours. I want to explain why. Now, they are having a great month, up just a little over 40% in the last 30 days. It's trading currently at just under 19 cents. It's had a lot of momentum because it's integrated with a worldwide stablecoin payment network, WSPN, and it's going to bring the WUSD, it's back to the US dollar, to its ecosystem. I'm going to speed through this, so pay attention, especially if you like the payment sector. This is a brand new network coming out of the Asia Pacific region. It's being led with their strategy from a former JP Morgan Citi guy, and the former Visa president has recently joined. Their funding is super surprising. Much of it is coming from mainland China and Singapore. Odds are it's going to be coming to WeChat and Alipay. Why do I say that? I took in the keynote from the founder and CEO of WSPN, Raymond Yuan, and this took place at Token 2049 in Singapore. And, if they are really able to execute on their strategy of rolling out with WeChat and Alipay, oh my gosh, you're talking about billions of users overnight. Austin Campbell is their head of strategy, and not only was he with JP Morgan and Citi, but he also was with Paxos. John Partridge is now a board member, and he joined them at the end of August. And just before that was announced, their seed round came in with $30 million. So like I said, keep your eyes out for that project and their progress. All right, do you listen to the All In podcast? I know that some people do and some people don't. I happen to love it. I think it's still my number one favorite podcast right now. Well, I'm going to play a clip for you that I think you're going to be very pleased to see if you support John Deaton.
But I tell you, one Republican that, as I understand it, you are supporting is John Deaton, who is running against Elizabeth Warren in the Massachusetts Senate race. So I'm curious about this because I think this is an area we could agree on. You're not a fan of Elizabeth Warren at all.
I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Elizabeth Warren's. I've talked to her about crypto. I mean, I understand her position. Her basic position is, bad nation states use crypto to fund their operations, the bad stuff. And she just wants to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as opposed to using, like I proposed a blacklist from OFAC that can be implemented in all kinds of shit. I need to get into the details, right? But it wasn't going to happen. And so when John, not just being pro-crypto, but, his background, his character, I thought really was a positive. And so even before he got threw his hat in his ring, I was talking to him, supporting him, giving him feedback and helping him. So again, I'm not a Democrat. I have no problem. And I think John Deaton will be better for the country, better for the citizens of Massachusetts than Elizabeth Warren would be.
And moving right along, attention builders and developers on the XRP ecosystem. Yeah, I want to say you want to look here and not there. What is here? This is Futureverse. This is the Root Network. This is an XRPL Commons organized event where they're going to begin that journey to help developers and train them to integrate with this metaverse. And the reason this is so important is because this happens to be integrated with just not the ledger, but the digital asset XRP. And they're going to do much more than just use it as a gas token. Futureverse, while they raised a $54 million Series A round, that was about a year ago, and Ripple was one of the leading contributors. And sticking with XRP, the Bitwise XRP ETF prospectus was printed and over 100 pages, and it outlines the risks. These are the prospectus required to sell a security. But there was one quite interesting sentence. Let me show you. One of my Patreons picked up on it. It says, depending on its characteristics, a digital asset, including XRP, may be considered a security under the U.S. federal securities law. Yeah, I had caught that, and I just didn't bring it up because you know what's so funny is that just citing the fact that the risks were printed, and I gave a link to everyone taking a look at it, I was accused of being a person who gets paid by Ripple. But if I had put that one sentence in there, which I did see, I would have been called a fudster or someone who's a Ripple hater, right? So you can't win for losing with this community. I do want to tell you it's an interesting read. I think it's something you want to plow through, even though it has, over 100, I think it comes out to 116 pages. I happened to catch on page 28 that they said that the XRP Ledger Foundation is an independent organization established to support and develop the adoption of the XRP Ledger. The foundation is going through a restructuring, so it's not an independent organization. I gave Bitwise Invest a heads up, told them to please check with XRPL Commons for an update and all the details. I had mentioned in a video a couple of days ago that I got a really big lesson from someone who's an expert in this space. Both in TradFi and also crypto. Somebody everybody knows, and I'm sorry I can't say who it is, but it's a big macroeconomics guy. And he told me that the Cross-Border Capital is one that makes a lot of these charts based on the global liquidity indexes, different indicators. And yeah, I'm understanding from that lesson I received how important liquidity, global liquidity, is in correlation to the price of Bitcoin. The Financial Times printed this recently, and it is the global liquidity long-term cycle going back to 2000. And wow, it's amazing, right? This cycle is so indicative, almost on a repeatable basis, that is surefire. And here we are coming down into 2024. And should it repeat, which I can't imagine it wouldn't, we're just about to experience a big rise in risk on assets like Bitcoin. This chart here, about the same time range, is tracking two indicators, the estimated world GDP and then that risk for appetite. And you can see that as GDP rises, so does the appetite for risk. And if we come out to where we are now, the black is the risk appetite, which is trailing a little bit behind the estimated world GDP percentage. So I imagine that this risk appetite is going to increase as we are increasing on the GDP. And as promised in the opener, Tether is going to unveil a new tech solution for European market amid the Coinbase delisting rumors. Now, the question I have is, what would this tech solution be? So John has his big first debate on the 15th of this month with Elizabeth Warren. It's going to be at 8:30 p.m. East Coast time. You can watch it on a live stream. So if you go to my X feed, you'll find the link to that live stream, and yeah, bookmark it and give John as much support as you can. He's now in the crucial crunch time, and let's really get him over the goal line. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.